Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmITheDevil for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do so in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This one was posted to Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for using someone else's social security number at the casino because they're in a lower tax bracket? Good lord, what is happening in here? Oh no. I read it. I need some objective opinions on a situation I recently found myself in. For context, I'm a 35-year-old individual who enjoys gambling at the casino. Recently, I had a particularly good night and won a significant amount of money. As many of you might know, large winnings are subject to taxes, which can be a bummer. Now, I have a friend. Let's call him Dave, 30 male, who's in a much lower tax bracket than I am. Dave has always been pretty laid back about financial matters and always tells me he doesn't mind doing whatever to help a friend out. So, in my moment of genius, I thought, why not use Dave's social security number to report the winnings? Did you just admit publicly to committing dude, oh my god. Hey Reddit, I committed money laundering and fraud, here's how. Oh my god. This way, less money goes to taxes and more stays in our pockets. Dave was cool with it when I asked him, or maybe I just assumed he was okay because he didn't seem to care much. Anyway, I went ahead and used his social security number on the tax form. Fast forward a few weeks and Dave's starting to freak out because he got some IRS notices about the winnings. Now, he's more anxious about it than I expected, and he's saying that I should have never involved him in the first place. He's worried it might mess up his financial situation in future tax filings. It will. I tried to explain to him that I thought it wouldn't be a big deal since it saved us both some money in the end, but he's not seeing it that way and feels betrayed. When I told a few of my other friends about it, opinions were divided. Some sided with Dave, while others thought it was a smart move. So Reddit, am I the asshole for using Dave's social security number to reduce tax on my casino winnings? Dude, you committed fraud. And you totally just fucked Dave over, dude. If he's in a lower tax bracket and he has to report those winnings, when he goes to get his return, he's gonna get screwed over by you. What it sounds like to me is you gave Dave half the story and told you it would save you in the long run, but didn't explain the consequences that Dave would have to face after the form was filed in his name. You should be ashamed of yourself that you told Dave it would save him money as well, when it turns out now he's probably gonna end up owing money to the IRS while you walk away with the winnings. Technically speaking, what Dave should do is, because the winnings are in his name, is he should file a fucking police report and go after you for them. Honestly, dude, what the fuck? This one was posted to true off my chest. I found out that I have a grandchild, but my daughter wants no contact. First time poster, English is not my first language. My friend told me to come here for an unbiased opinion. I post in English for a bigger audience. I am 57 male and my wife is 56. We have one daughter, Lara, 34, Paul, 31, and Allie, 22. We have one daughter, Lara, 34, Paul, 31, and Allie. So you have two daughters and one son? Well, English isn't their first language. 3 years ago, we had a big fight with Lara and we decided to go no contact with her. Okay, take note of that. They chose to go no contact. She was very rude while we had some visitors in our garden. Our son-in-laws came to sort out some of the problems. My first grandchild was a few months old and they were fighting a lot. My son has a gambling problem. It's hard, but we try to help out as good as we can. I bought him some books and talked to him many times. There are good and bad times, but we believe that he will make it. And yes, we offered him therapy, but he rejected. Today I found out that my daughter has a daughter who is now 4 months old. Apparently, my cousin saw her and even talked to her. That was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, I saw my cousin who told me how cute Peyton was, and I asked, "Who's Peyton?" He gave me a confused look and said, "Peyton? Your granddaughter? Lara's daughter?" I was very shocked, and since then I can't stop thinking about it. Why wouldn't she tell us? Yes, I was mad, but she's still my blood. I missed her whole pregnancy and my grandchild's first months. This is going too far. I texted her best friend Olivia asking for Lara's new number. She said no and that Lara wants no contact with us. I asked her to ask her again because I want to talk to my daughter. 2 hours later, she texted me, still no, and now I don't know what is going on, and I talked to Olivia, who is still Lara's best friend. You're the one who wanted to go no contact. So back when Lara showed up in our garden, she came to talk to us. She asked the day before if we were available for an important conversation. I remember that she asked, but the same day this drama with my son and his wife happened, and the next day her parents called to stop by and I couldn't cancel with them. When Lara called me to tell me that she was on her way, I told her we had visitors. She blew up my phone and exploded. Olivia said that was the final straw. I had no idea what she was talking about, so she told me. When my son married my daughter-in-law, let's call her Cynthia, Lara wasn't invited. We don't know why, but Cynthia demanded an apology. Lara said no, and I'm not going to humiliate myself and apologize for speaking out the truth. Apparently, Cynthia had a lot of different men and a bad reputation before she met my son. A lot of my son's friends had affairs or relationships, or I don't know how you kids call it. We didn't know, and although we are religious, it wasn't our place to judge. We accepted her. A month later, the wedding happened, and it was big. In our culture, 300 to 400 people are normal. We did celebrate, but I felt that Lara wouldn't care at all about that day. She didn't call or contact us. Olivia told me that Lara was hurt and nobody cared about her being not at the wedding. She even forgave us, but she never got over the betrayal. I asked which betrayal, and she explained that Lara felt betrayed because nobody would speak up for her or boycott the wedding. We all allowed sister-in-law to bully her for many years and then kicked her out of the wedding. I know that there was an incident or two, but that's not my business. Lara seemed fine, and 1 year later, this incident in our garden had happened. That was like 3 years ago, and last year I heard she moved away. Olivia said it took you 2 years to realize that your daughter moved from Europe to Canada. Holy moly, Canada is very far and cold. I had no idea that she lives in Canada. I don't even know her new husband. Olivia said that Lara married her ex-husband again, but this time they actually married in Italy. I remember him being broke, but it seems like he's loaded now. However, that guy doesn't like me or my wife. He's always talking about us prioritizing our son. It's always the same with this guy. Olivia talked to Lara and her husband, and the husband agreed to talk on the phone. I tried to prepare myself because I think this could go wrong. So today, I talked to my daughter's husband. Let's call him Peter. He asked me straight up what I want and left no room for small talk. When I asked how you are, he said fine, just fine. No thanks, how are you? He then had the audacity to ask me what I want or if me and my wife are planning on apologizing to Lara. I don't know why we should. Oh. Peter said, well, then there's nothing to talk about. I told him we are family. I guess that was the wrong answer because he pointed out all our mistakes, how we failed as parents and treated her so poorly while my son got everything and got away with everything. He accused us of favoritism. He then told me that the day Lara asked to meet us, she found out that she had cancer and that she wanted to talk about that the next day, which was Saturday. I work Monday to Friday and she didn't want me to be stressed. That's why she picked the next day. I had no idea and her husband said that's not true. Lara told me there's a possibility that she might have cancer and I can remember, but I thought she would tell us anyways. She never did, so I thought it can't be that bad, right? So just pausing real quick because the narration style of the story is hard as hell to follow. From what I understand, Lara told you there was a possibility she might have cancer and wanted to come and talk to you about it, and then you scheduled other things in place of that and told her that you couldn't, then she got mad at you, and then you went no contact. Am I following this right? Because this is a rambling of a story. I understand that English is not their first language, but oh my god, is this hard to follow. He told me no, it was the final straw when we canceled for my son's in-laws, and I replied she could have come at any time, but he said no, this was different. She asked for our time. I mean, we could have talked in the evening, right? Peter replied right then, why didn't you do that with the in-laws? This man is very rude. No, I'm gonna disagree with you there. Peter is the GOAT. Lara is fine and healthy now, and he said she doesn't want us in her life anymore. I think she's unreasonable, and she can't keep my granddaughter away from me. I asked for a picture, and he said no. My wife suggested to mention the possibility of getting kicked out of our will, and that's what I told Peter. He laughed, which confused me. This guy never shows any emotion. He said, go ahead, Lara would love that, as she doesn't want to be in our lives anymore, and that we might didn't notice, but he makes millions every year so we can keep the little money we have. Our house is almost worth $1 million, and we have some apartments, which would be another $300K. Peter laughed again and said, do what you always do and spend it on your golden child. He then said he has to hang up the phone for a work emergency. I said I'm going to talk with my wife, and he said whatever, and that he can't force me to stop calling him again, but if it gets too much, he will change his number. We hung up. I don't know why Lara is acting so selfish. My wife, who could hear everything, is very mad and thinks that Lara should apologize to us. I don't know what to think. Any advice? You could... I don't like this next sentence at fucking all. You could call out her behavior in the comment section so I could send it to her husband. Thanks. You chose to go no contact when she wanted to talk with you about a possible cancer diagnosis. You chose the in-laws over your daughter. You should have moved the in-laws to the evening. She felt like even a cancer diagnosis was nothing to you, and that the son-in-law would always be more important. So yeah, she got pissed and yelled at you. And then your response was to go no contact. So what does Lara do? Moves to a new country, starts an amazing new life, has a daughter, is doing phenomenal. Cancer diagnosis is now no longer an issue. She has moved on in her life and is wonderfully happy and living the best that she can. And you didn't give a shit about your daughter's health. It was the aspect of possibly having a grandchild now that made you actually want to reach out to your daughter finally after almost 4 years? Is that what it was? You have the audacity to ask her for an apology and then saying that people should be voicing their criticisms of her in the comments when you came to this subreddit for an unbiased opinion? No. Peter and Olivia are the fucking goats in this story. They kept Lara safe. And that's what's important, something the parents couldn't be damned to do. I want to add a quick little amendment here to explain why I'm so against Reddit just jumping the shark on going no contact, because I actually had a really nice conversation with someone in the comments about this exact situation, and I feel I definitely should explain a bit further, and I don't want to seem dismissive of the idea that no contact can be helpful. Hell, this post is a wonderful example of that. It's also a great example of the consequences that can follow it. But my issue is that when you have Redditors who are under the slightest transgression saying no contact, get a divorce, yada yada yada, especially when it's something minor that could easily be worked out through therapy or just a simple conversation, it makes the post where someone actually needs to hear that, and they actually need to hear, hey, you need to get out of this situation, it makes those comments seem worthless because that's already the default response. It devalues the advice to go no contact because that is the default response. It's like a boy who cried wolf moment. That's why I dislike it when people are constantly jumping on the go no contact bandwagon, because it causes more harm than good. Hopefully that helps explain why I have such an aversion to Reddit just simply jumping the gun on that specific advice. This one's posted to, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not acting impressed by my wife's, in quotes here, accomplishment? My 28 female wife, 26 female, and I have been married for close to 7 years. We currently have 5 kids together, 6 male, 4 male, 3 female, and my wife has given birth to fraternal twins, son and daughter, a year and a half ago. My wife intended to graduate high school the year we got married, but life got in the way. My dad had given me an investor relations type of role at his company, so we were traveling a lot, and then after that, our kids needed our attentions. What the fuck? You could probably hear the gears in my head turning. After our twins were born, my wife was bedridden for longer than we and even the doctors expected. Since we had to hire extra hands to do the childcare task that involved mobility, my wife had some time on her hands. Her mother told her that her friends, who proctors at a testing center, said that they give GED tests basically every week, at least across the state of Idaho. Oh my god, no! No! And that she should dust off her general education knowledge. She started browsing her laptop and decided to enroll in a GED prep class online. It seems she was better at self-paced learning than classroom learning because the stuff they were testing her on came way easier to her now than it did even though she's been away from structured classroom instruction for many years now. Even after she was back on her feet, she'd be studying for it after she dropped the older two off to their respective schools. I would see what she was studying and it looked pretty rudimentary, and I knew that getting a GED basically means nothing and that she probably wouldn't be able to apply it to anything career-wise or commit full-time to community college, where I doubt the job prospects for students are that great right now either. So my wife ended up taking the test the other day and she bounded into the room and said, "Yes, I passed, I passed." Whew, I got red lights on all panels. I knew she would since she was doing well on the practice test and the GED consistently tests in the same rudimentary topics. I did not gripe at her, but merely nodded at her and went back to answering an important email from a client. My wife seemed to get upset and I asked her what was wrong. She said I didn't seem that excited and I said that it's great that she passed, but I've been telling her that it was easy and no big deal. But if she needed something to prove to herself that she knew the high school concepts, I guess the money was well spent. She got even more upset and said she worked very hard and this was the essential building blocks to being able to start a career. Am I the asshole? My wife passed her GED test, but she wasn't exactly graduating from college and wouldn't be for at least 15 years. I just don't see any immediate applicability to her test, but I'm glad she had something to challenge her while she was coming off of being unable to fully care for the kids. How's that silver spoon feeling in your hand, by the way? Just out of a general question. Congrats on being given an investor relations type of role at your father's company after high school. At least that's what I seem to be reading here. Perhaps it was after college, but either way, your position was handed to you. The least you could do is actually show some respect towards your partner who did have to work to where they are in life. The family that the two of you created got in the way of her graduating high school, and she was finally able to do that after all of these years, and your response was, "Congratulations, it's not that hard." Dude, really? You're in a position in life where you could seriously uplift your wife and give her the life that she desires and help her fulfill her dreams, but instead you just wave them off because congratulations, it's not that big of a deal. Of course she's upset, dude. I think you're jealous. I think you're jealous that your wife is excited about actually having an accomplishment that's hers. Doesn't take a lot just to tell your wife, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool, I'm so proud of you," but no, can't even bother to do that. This one was posted to, "Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for making my sons take all their stuff to their mothers? Hello Reddit, this is a burner account because I think my sons read Reddit. I'm a 45-year-old dad of 3. My 2 boys are 19 and 18 and my daughter is 17. The boys are out of high school. The older one graduated in 2023 and the younger one just this June. My older one goes to college but is staying with his mother. We're divorced. For the summer. The younger one, as I said, just graduated. Right before he graduated, probably a day or 2 later, I told him that now he's 18 and out of school. He needs to decide if he's going to live with me or with his mother, and he needed to decide and let me know by July 1st. For reference, my daughter lives with me 1 week and her mother the next, and that is what my sons did when they were in high school as well, so week on, week off. Well, July 1st came and went, and I did not hear from my son, so on July 2nd, I packed up all of his stuff and his brother's stuff in trash bags and boxes and set them in the front yard. Then I texted them both and told them they need to come get their stuff. They asked why, and I said if they choose their mother over me, then I don't want their stuff in my house. I even packed up my younger son's pet snake and told him to take it to his mom's house, which he said he couldn't do because they already have a dog and 2 cats. So anyway, I told them to come get their stuff or I would throw it away. It took them each 3 trips in their cars to haul all of their stuff away because this stuff has been in my house for 12 years, so there's a lot, and I made sure the younger one took his snake. Well, after they took everything away, I got a call from their mother. She said she was livid and said that she does not have room to store all of their things. I told her that they live there now, so it's her problem. She said they already have things at her house because they've gone back and forth for 12 years, so there's no place for 2 houses worth of things. I again told her that they live there now, so the boys' stuff is her problem. She then said I had no right to send another live animal to her house without asking. I told her it's my son's pet, so it needs to stay with him. She called me an ass and asked where she's supposed to keep all the things. I told her there's a shed and a garage. They can store them in there. She called me an ass again and said I have no right to dictate how she uses her storage space in her home. I told her it used to be my home too, so I do have that right. Dude, what the fuck? She then said that she loves the boys, so will help them figure out what to do with all their stuff, but that does not mean she agrees with what I did. I told her she doesn't have to agree. If the boys live with her, then so does their stuff, and that's it. She hung up. So am I an asshole like she said? Your sons are going to be going no contact and it's justified. You're going to be asking yourself in a couple years, why don't they talk to me anymore? It's because of this. You made it clear you don't want them in your lives anymore. Even the thought or aspect of them choosing their mother over you was enough for you to take all their stuff out of their rooms and dump it on the front lawn. Thankfully, once again, sadly the worst, has a comment that goes over some of Opie's comments. Someone commenting, "You're the asshole." I packed up all of his stuff and his brother's stuff in trash bags and boxes and set them in the front yard. It escalated quickly. Are these your kids or your ex's? Why did you ask them to choose between you and their mother? You could very well have continued what was working. You're just bitter because your son didn't send you a message to choose and you punished him on the spot. Say goodbye to your boys who won't talk to you anymore, and say goodbye to your daughter who won't wait until she's 18 for you to throw all her stuff out. OP commented, They are my kids with my ex. I never asked the older one to choose. He just ended up staying with his mom after he graduated. I asked the younger one to choose because he turned 18 and that is when the parenting plan ends. So I told him he had to pick a side. Wow, you're the asshole. Don't be surprised if that is the last you see of your kids and they never want to see you again. Dumping all of their stuff outside and telling them to remove it? I don't even know what to say. OP responds, why should I keep their things if they do not live with me? I don't understand. Another commenter posts, you're the asshole. Your sons will grow to resent you for this. Your daughter, having witnessed this, will know that when her time comes, she'll have to pick between her mom and her dad. You seem to be viewing this from your point of view only. Being, it's either pick me or my ex. Pick. These kids have you and their mom. You both are their parents. Asking them to pick and then saying if they choose their mother over me, then I don't want their stuff in my house, will only make them resent you and hate you more. Trust, if you love your kids and want to be their dad in their eyes and not the man who kicked me out the moment I graduated, you'll apologize and try to make things right. I don't think I kicked them out though. I asked them to choose and they did, so they left. Oh my god, you're a fucking dentist. Goddamn osmium. Another commenter, no wonder you're divorced. I hope your kids never see you again since your actions are basically telling them you don't want to see them / have them stay over ever again. I'm divorced because my wife wanted to divorce me. I wonder why. What else do you mean? Then why are you treating them like you would an ex? I don't know any parent who puts their kid's stuff in trash bags and throws them out. You just lost your son. It was stupid to ask him to choose sides. He made his choice. You're the asshole. Why do they need to choose a side? Why couldn't they travel back and forth? There is no rule that says once a child turns 18, they must choose a parent. That being said, you made their choice very easy and made your daughter's choice very easy. None of them will ever choose you for anything. You treated them like they were your ex and disposable. You will treat your daughter the same way and she'll live with her mother as well. I can see why you're divorced. You are simply not a likable individual. The parenting plan says it ends when the child graduates from high school, so no need for them to go back and forth at that point. Info. Why do you hate your sons? Because a loving father would never act this way. I don't hate my sons. It's just that they're 18, so it's time to pick a side. Oh my god. Pick a side? This isn't dodgeball. God, no wonder he picked his mom if this is how you act. Well, they couldn't legally pick a side until they were 18 anyway. They are your children. They are not children any longer. They are adults. You're the asshole. In the evidence of a divorce, the father or mother should not force the children to choose sides. It is not right. And the bad thing is that you don't understand this. You are both important to them. After all, you're their parents. I didn't make them choose sides when we got divorced. They were 7 and 6 then. But now that they're not children, I can tell them... I can tell them to do so. And then sadly the worst just keeps going. Oh my god. No shame towards Sally the worst, it's just the fact there's so much evidence of him just being a shitty person. My comment wasn't about the parenting plan. My kids are all adults. 2 have a different dad. They both still traveled and saw both of us for several years after becoming adults. Why? Because we're their parents. I never felt the need to force them to choose who to spend time with or even live with. Why are you so insistent that they choose? And did you really expect them to choose you? I couldn't make them legally choose when we got divorced, so now that they're adults, I can. They can't be loyal to both of us, so I guess they chose her. It is what it is, but they don't need to live with me if they're going to be loyal to her. Oh my god, dude. You're the asshole, so you threw your sons away. No one should make them choose a parent. You were co-parenting before they turned 18. Why can't you continue to co-parent? But hey, you got your house back and you only have one part-time kid now. Next year, when you throw her away, you'll be free for life. We didn't really co-parent. She did her thing and I did mine. I can't stand her, so I just let her do her thing most of the time, so I didn't have to talk to her. Damn, nice way to avoid the actual fucking part of the comment about the fact you're throwing your kids away. Another comment, down 2 sons and a wife. Once your daughter turns 18, be prepared for her to go no contact along with the rest of the kids. You just screwed yourself out of a family. See, this is a circumstance where it is definitely in your best interest to go no contact, by the way. You're the asshole, and the person you hurt the most wasn't your kids or your ex. It was you. Because when you're all alone wondering where you went wrong, they'll still have each other, and you'll be left with this extra space. The dude then comments, I am remarried. Unless your ex killed your brother, this is a ridiculous overreaction. He comments with, I don't have a brother, she divorced me and I don't believe in divorce, so technically they are being loyal to values that I didn't raise them to have, so they can go and have those values somewhere else, not in my house. Okay, the pieces are getting put together. How long do you think that's gonna last? You seem like a terrible husband and a worse father. So far, we've been married for 3 years. They can absolutely be loyal to both parents, and they should be, if said parents are worth that loyalty. And since you keep harping on them being adults now, good luck when they take you to court for that illegal eviction. And hopefully, your ex takes you back to court to reduce your parenting time for that one minor child as well. You have no business having unsupervised contact with her. Which then he responds, loyalty means picking a side. You can't be loyal to 2 different baseball teams, for example. What if they play each other? You have to root for one. Oh my god. He also responded a second time to the comment here that ended with, trust if you love your kids and want to be their dad in their eyes and not the man who kicked me out the moment I graduated, you'll apologize and try to make things right. He commented again, my daughter didn't witness anything. She was at her mother's already when this happened. Buddy, they're gonna talk. As someone whose parents got divorced when I was 4, you can most certainly still love both of them, despite them having their quarrels with each other. That is a ridiculous statement that it needs to be treated like a fucking baseball team. Dude, grow up. This would be one thing if you just wanted them out of your life and you were willing to admit that, because yeah, you'd be the asshole, but you're also admitting to it. But for here, you're trying to ask if you're the asshole in this situation. Yeah, you are. If you don't want your kids in your life, then come out and say it with your chest. This one was posted to Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not inviting my girlfriend to my college graduation even though I had 8 tickets? Yes. Am I the asshole for not inviting my girlfriend to my college graduation even though I had 8 tickets? I gave the tickets to my mom, my dad, my brother's girl. This has to be bait. This has to be bait. My brother's girlfriend, an aunt, an uncle, and 2 younger cousins. Back in my day, bait used to be believable. She never told me she wanted to come, and I assumed she wouldn't have too much fun sitting alone with my family, so I didn't invite her. She got angry at me when she found out how many tickets I actually had, and that I invited somewhat distant family members / significant others over her. She claimed she didn't ask because she assumed I only had a very limited amount of tickets, and that was why she didn't bother hearing about an invite. So am I the asshole? If this isn't bait, she should unironically go no contact with you. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those 2 are my personal favorites right now.